Hello, it's Josh here from JDG Estate Agents. I just wanted to get in touch regarding the highly publicised Renters Reform Bill that has been splashed across the media. My first bit of advice is don't panic. In typical form, the media are making many aspects out to sound much worse than they actually are, when in fact, the way we look after your properties means that many of the changes won't affect things too much. It's also worth bearing in mind that this is not law yet and has a long process to go through in Parliament, which will debate and potentially amend the actual final law that comes out the other side. We'll of course keep you up to date with any significant changes. Today, however, I just wanted to go through 6 of the main points that stand out in the new bill. Section 21, evictions to be abolished. This one is the main headline at the moment and it's worrying landlords. In practice, whilst we don't have to give a reason, it's actually quite rare that we would serve a Section 21 to someone without a good reason, such as selling a property or the landlords are moving back in. The bill proposes that the Section 8 notice procedure is strengthened with mandatory grounds for repeated arrears if you want to sell your property or you want to move in or your close family members want to move in. This means you can gain possession for a legitimate reason. This is in addition to the 17 plus grounds that are already in place. There will be some provisos associated with the new grounds, but we'll see the full details of this at a later stage. The government has committed to reform the court process and create new digital platforms, but we'll have to wait the details on this one. So the second point, ending fixed term contracts. This has been another well publicised aspect of the bill. They're aiming to make a simpler tenancy structure with all tenancies on that rolling periodic tenancy that we see after the fixed term. Whilst this may be the legal standard, in practice it's unlikely that with all the stress that comes with moving house, tenants are going to be moving every couple of months. So we still expect tenants to remain at the properties for decent lengths of time, only moving if their circumstances change. This is likely to avoid any of the associated issues that you get with early releases, tenants who are stuck in contracts but can't afford the rent and builds up of arrears. In order to allow landlords to have more time to find new tenants, current tenants will be required to give at least 2 months' notice if they want to leave the property. Rent increases. The bill is going to limit rent increases once in a 12-month period with a 2-month notice for any increase. And in general, we've always tried to follow this at JDG just to allow tenants time to adjust and to make sure there's less chance of arrears. The bill proposes the end of rent review clauses in contracts, but this provision doesn't mean that you can't review the rent annually and increase where appropriate. It just stops unfair and unreasonable increases automatically every year that doesn't reflect normal market values. Pets in properties. This one's been spoken about for a while. Tenants will have a lot more rights when it comes to keeping a pet in a property, and consent to do so can't be unreasonably withheld. There were limited reasons that allow a landlord to refuse a pet, such as a head lease in a big apartment block, or evidence of severe allergies, something like that. On the flip side of this, however, the bill indicates that tenants must provide evidence that they have acquired insurance to cover their pet, or be willing to pay a landlord's increased premiums to cover any pet damage. No doubt this will be include an amendment to the Tenant Fee Act from 2019. Once we have further clarity on that, we'll no doubt see an influx of insurance policies and products, so watch this space. Number 5, a private landlord ombudsman. This one's a little vague at this stage. The bill outlines a provision for a redress scheme or an ombudsman that all private landlords will have to register with, regardless of whether they use an agent or not. The main purpose of this is to allow an independent body to address and resolve any complaints, allowing for a fair decision rather than one that's fueled by emotions at the end of a tenancy. The aim of this is to stop rogue landlords providing substandard properties and poor maintenance, raising housing standards across the board, so it does have some good benefits. Similarly, point number 6 is property portals. Details are a bit vague still, but it's suggested there'll be some sort of portal for all rented properties, which will aim to help landlords understand and demonstrate their compliance with all of those relevant laws, which the government can keep up to date. It'll attract tenants by showing that the houses they're interested in are kept to an acceptable standard. Now, at this stage, the government are looking to test various options and find the best way forwards. And whilst it will be a legal requirement for landlords to register with this portal, landlords who commit to fulfilling their legal requirements shouldn't have any worries at all, just to have everything in one place. There are a few further suggested changes that are coming down the line, but don't make up part of this bill so far, such as applying the decent home standards to the private renters sector and outlawing blanket bans on families and people in receipt of housing benefits. But we'll get more detail on that when it arrives. Whilst any changes are of course unsettling, we firmly believe here that many aspects will help improve housing standards and make a fairer rental sector. And the landlords we work with should have nothing to worry about, as we already hit many of these points that will be coming into law, just to make sure it's fair for everyone. If you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to get in touch. As we learn more, watching webinars and learning from the industry experts will of course let you know. And if I can't answer your question at this stage, I will certainly do my best to find out how we can help. As always, you can give us a call on 01524 843322, or you can email me. It's josh@jdg.co.uk. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.